Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Elijah Comfort. In case if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get notified when next I post a new video. As for today, I'll be teaching you how to design a product banner using Photoshop. And as you all know, I always keep my tutorials very simple and understandable, so turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified when next I post a new video. Let's get started. So for you to make any design using Photoshop, you have to click on this place, create new. When you click on create new, it might take a bit time for it to show where we are going to set our workspace. So now we have this. What we are going to do is to put 1080 by 1080 pixels. Then our resolution will be 300. Then the color mode will be RGB color because we are not printing it. If we are printing it, we can use other color modes like CMYK color, but this one we are not printing it. That is why we are using just RGB color. Okay, then you click on create. Once you click on create, it will create your workspace. We call it our workspace. That is where we'll be doing all our designs. So now we have our workspace. The first thing we'll be doing is to create a good background. I want our background to be ingredients, like to have some kind of colors. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to click on Ctrl J. I want to duplicate this background. I'll click Ctrl J, it will duplicate it. Then I'll now double click on the duplicated one. When I double click on it, it will bring out this. I'll come to this place and look for gradient overlay. When I click on gradient overlay, I'll click on the color. Then I want to change the color. I'll come here, click this place, click here. Then I have a color mode already. That is a color code already that I want to use. So I'll just quickly put in my color code. The color code is 33 40 28 for here. I'll now click on OK. I'll come to this side, I'll click on it. I'll come to the color, I'll click on it. Then I will also put in the color code. Don't forget, you can select color from here, any color you want, but me, I already have a color code in mind that I want to use. Okay, so this is, I'm going to enter the color code now. The second color code is 7db 48 7db 48. This is the color code. I will now click on OK. Then I'll click on OK here. Then coming here, I don't want it to be linear. I want it to be radial. So I'll click here. Then I'll click on the inverse. I want it to be inverse. You click on inverse. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I want this to be 10, around that kind, 105. I think 105 will be okay. So this is this. I think this is okay. So I want to drag this to the middle for this gradient to show at the middle just the way we want it. You will now come here, just drag it to this place, and I think here is okay. Let me shift this so that I can see it very well. So this is now okay. Remember, we made the scale to be 0.05. Then we now click on OK. When you click on OK, the next thing we are going to do is to import our image. That is the image we'll be using for this design. And how to do that, there are so many ways you can do that, but I'm going to be showing you one of the easiest ways you can do that by clicking here. Then you look for the image of the drink you want to use or the product you want to use, just anyone. So this is the image. I'll just click on it and drag it. You will not click, and you just click and drag, then you bring it here. So now it's here. I would now click on this arrow that shows that it's sticking good. I'll click on it. So now I've clicked on it. The next thing I'll do is to remove this background. As I want to remove this background, I'll just come here and click on quick selection to know I want to use the magic wood tool. I'll just select the magic wood tool, click on it. Then I'll come to this place and click on select subject. When you click on select subject, it might take a bit time for it to select. So what I'll do now is I've selected the subject. What I'll do is to click Ctrl J. When I click Ctrl J, I'll come down and delete the main image. I'll delete it. Then it will remain this one. It will remain this. So I only want to use one of the products. I don't want to use the two. So for me to use just one, I'll just come here, select the rectangular mask tool. I'll click on it. I'll come here. I'll select this product. I'll select this one. I don't want to use the white product. Then I'll click on my delete. I will delete. Once I've deleted it, I will now click Ctrl D to deselect. When you click on Ctrl D to deselect, the next thing you do is to position your drink very well. So for you to position it very well, but I think we should make it bigger. Let's make it a bit bigger. Or is it just okay this way? I think let's leave it like this. So let's click Ctrl A. Ctrl A. Then you come here, you click on this. It will help you to put it at the center. Now it's already at the center. I'll click on my Ctrl D back, which means to deselect. So now I have this here. The next thing I'll be doing is to import my other images that I'll be using together with it. So I'll just click here. So let's use this. I'll click on it. I'll drag it to my Photoshop, bring it here, click on this arrow, still select this my magic wood tool, select subjects, so now I've selected the subject. I'll click Ctrl J. This is one of the easiest way to remove background from anything. So when you click your Ctrl J, you come down, you now delete the first one, remaining the duplicate. Then you come here, let's reduce the size, but I want it to be very small, so I'm going to reduce the size. So this is okay. I think this is okay now. The next thing I'm going to do is to import. So don't forget that whenever you are done placing anything on your background, remember to click on this arrow. It will be okay now. So the next thing is to import another image. I'll click here, I will look for it. I think let's use this. I'll click on it and drag it to my Photoshop, and here is it. This one I've removed the image because I've removed the background because I've used it before on my previous design. So I've removed the background. I will now bring it here. So now I have this all together just the way I want it. The next thing I'll be doing is to add a text here. I want to, okay, let me also put something here like a leaf. So I'll click on it, I'll get this leaf, I'll click on it and drag it to my Photoshop, bring it here. As you can see, I've already removed the background. As I said, I've used it before my previous design. I'll still resize it. I don't want it to be too big, but then I don't still want it to be too small. I think this is okay. Then I'll click on OK. So let me quickly add my text here. So for me to do that, I'll click on my text tool, click here. Then I'll type the name of the product. The name of the product is Ekpukepu. I know most of you might not know how to pronounce it. Anyway, it's a herbal drink. So now I'm done typing. The next thing I'll be doing is I want to make it smaller. Don't forget the name of the font we are using here is Candra Bold. So that's the name of the font I'm using. I think it's a free font. It should be on your system, okay? But even if you don't have it, you can install it. You can install it on your laptop. So I think this is just a perfect size for it. This is just, there is no need of us making it smaller or bigger. I think this is a perfect size. So for us to align it to the center, we'll click Ctrl A. Don't forget Ctrl A. Then you come here, you click on this place. Depending on where you want to align. If you want to align it to the left, you can click here. But this one wants to align it to the center. You click here. Then you click here. No, like this is it. You click here. So let me bring it down a bit. Let me just go back. So before we align this, before we align it, what you're going to do is to click on your view. We want to put a ruler in form of a guideline, something that can help us to align our work perfectly. So because of that, I'll just click on our view, then you scroll down to this place that is written new guide layout. You click on it. Once you click on it, it will bring out these 4 lines. Depending on how the distance in the line would depends on what you've set here, the numbers you put in here. then you click on OK. So this is so okay where we place it. The next thing we'll be doing now is to add another text. So I'm going to click here and then I want to type benefits. I'll be back once I'm done typing. So now I'm done typing benefits. I want to change the font. I want it to be something like handwritten. So let me change the font. The name of the font I'll be using here is Great Vibe. I think that is the font. Great Vibe. Great Vibes. This is it. Yeah, it's a very nice and beautiful font. If you don't have it, you can install it to your system. The name is Great Vibe Regular. So let's make it a bit bigger. Now it's bigger. I think we are okay with it that way, but we need to change the color. Let's give it something like a white color. Then I also want to align it to the center, so I'll click Ctrl A. Then I'll come here, I'll click here. It's already aligned in the center. Don't click here. If you click here, it will bring it to this place. So just only click here because we just want to put it in the center that way. And then you click on your Ctrl D to deselect. In Photoshop, Ctrl D is to deselect. So the next thing we are going to be adding now is to, anyway, let's group this together. Let's group this. So for you to group, you just click on this, then you hold your shift and select the three of them. Once you select the three of them, you click Ctrl J and then you group the three. I think it's perfect this way. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to add our circles. I want to add some things in form of a circle. So how I'll be doing that is to click here. I will select my circle. This is the circle tool I want to use. For you to get a very perfect shape circle, you have to hold your shift key and then you draw your circle. If you don't hold your shift key, just see. If you don't hold your shift key, you can give any kind of circle. But for you to get it where you hold your shift key and then you have your perfect circle. So I want to change the color of the circle. I'll click here. I'll just click here, click this. Then I already have a color code that I'm using for it. I already get my colors. You know how to get your color code. You can just, let me say, if I want to select, I can select a color here, and the color code it gives me here is my color code. That is your color code. So I already have a color code in mind that suits it perfectly. So let me quickly type it. 3E 4E 31. 3E 4E 31. This is the color code I'm using for this circle. I'll click on OK and it will change the color immediately. So the next thing I'll be doing is I want to make it bigger, or even when you want to make it bigger or smaller, always remember to hold your shift key. Okay, so now we have this. I want to get another circle. Okay, I want to get another circle, and for me to do that, I'll just duplicate this. I'll just click my Ctrl J is to duplicate. I'll duplicate it. Now I have a duplicate of it. So I want to make this second circle bigger. I want to make it bigger. So I'll hold my shift and draw it to be bigger. Now it's bigger here. I want to change the color. Then I'll come here, I'll double click inside of this. I will now change the color. So I also have a color code for this. So the color code is 7DB40. The color code is 627931. The color code for the second circle is 627931. In case if you want to practice this, I will be leaving all of this at the description. Then I'll click on OK. When you click on OK, then the next thing I'll be doing now is just to duplicate this. I want to have about 4 of this and then 4 of this. Okay, I want to have like 8 circles around this. I will just duplicate this. So I'll be duplicating this into 2. Then I'll duplicate this into 6. That is into 5. Then the main one will make it 6. So this into 2. Control J. I've duplicated it. I'll carry 1 to this place. Then this, I'll duplicate it into 5. The main one will make it 6. Control J, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I already have this into 5. I'll just place them around just like this. I want this to be here. I want this to be something here. I'll bring this here. I'll just place them around and then I'll add my text into it. This in a circular form, just the way we want it to be. I can now go ahead and change some of the colors like this. I want it to have this particular color. Then what I'll do is to double click inside here. When I double click on it, I'll select this color. I'll click on OK. I'll come to this one. I'll do the same thing. Double click inside it and I'll select this color. I'll click on OK. So this is very much perfect. Okay, this is just the way we want it. So I want each and every one of them to have a drop down shadow. The reason is so that we can easily differentiate it from the background. Okay, so I'll come here, I'll click on this, I'll double click here. Remember, if you want to change the color, you double click here. If you want to change it, if you want to give it a drop down shadow, you double click at the edge here. So I'll come here, I'll click on my drop down shadow, but I'll reduce it. I think this shadow is then let me reduce the, I think this is okay. I think this is okay like this. You click on OK. Then we'll come to this. We'll double click at the edge here. Then we'll click on our drop down shadow. It will give it a drop down shadow. We'll click on OK. Then we'll come to this. We'll do the same thing. There are other ways you can also give it a drop down shadow. Another way is to right click here, then you come to this place that they wrote blending options. You click on it. This is the second way you can give it a drop down shadow. It will still bring out this box. Then you click on drop down shadow. then you click on OK. You do the same for this. You double click at the edge here. You click on OK. You click on this. You double click on the edge. We'll be giving all of them drop down shadow. We'll set it the way we want. So the next thing we'll be doing is I want to add something like a straight line here, but I don't want to use line. I want to use a shape for it. Okay, so I'll just click here, right click on it, and then let me use my triangular shape. I think it will give me more of what I want. Despite there are other ways I can still do it, but I just want to use this method because not because of so many things, but I just like using it that way. So now I have my triangle. I'll come here, I'll cancel it. I don't want it to have any color inside. I just want to give it a stroke. Okay, I want it to have a stroke. Then I'll click on the stroke. I will make the stroke to be black color. Or should I change the color of the stroke? Let me give it this color. Let me make it something more dark. I think this is okay. Okay, then I'll come to this place. Be looking very well. You see this place, I'll click here. I want it to have this kind of line as a stroke. I'll click on it. When I click on it, so the next I'm going to do is to increase the stroke. Let me make it 7. Let me just make it 7. This is the stroke. I just made it 7. I think this 7 is perfect. I love using 7 for my stroke anyway. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I will just come and right click on it and then rasterize the layer. Once I rasterize it, I'll now come here. I'll select this. Let me use this rectangular mask tool. I'll select it. Then I'll come here. I want to delete every part of it. Then I'll click on delete. You see, then I'll click my Ctrl D. You can still use a straight line for this, just that I just want to use this type of thing. I just love using this particular method anyway. I'll rotate it. So I think it's okay like this. It's okay here. It's okay here. So the next thing I'll do now is to duplicate it for all of them. I'll duplicate it for all my designs. Okay, so for me to do that, as you all know, to duplicate in Photoshop, you click your Ctrl J. So I duplicated it into 7 because I will have more 7 places to place it. So I'll just do it. I'll bring this. This is okay. This for this. This for this. I just want to I want to carry each of them. I'll just do the same thing for all of them. So now we are done placing them the way we want it to be. The next thing is I'll duplicate each of them, or just one of it. I'll just duplicate one of it and just tiny small circles, and just put in all these places, to make it look beautiful. So for me to do that, I'll just click on this, click Ctrl J, I'll bring it out, then I'll hold my shift key, make it very tiny. I want it to be very tiny. I want it to be tiny. So now it's tiny. I'll just click on it and drag it to this place. I think this is the exact shape we want. Okay, this is the exact size we want. So now we've done this one. What we'll just do is just to duplicate the same thing for the rest of them. We'll click our Ctrl J and Ctrl J. Just the number we want it. I'll bring this here. I'll click on it, bring another one here. Click on this, bring another one here. I think it's not enough, so let's quickly duplicate this also. Our Ctrl J into 2. So I'll just be bringing them here. So the next thing I'll do now is for each of them to have the same color, just as the upper part. What I'll do is I'll come to this one, I'll click on it, I'll double click inside this bust, then I'll come and select this color. I'll click on OK. This is already with the perfect color. I'll also change this, double click on this, I'll select this color here, I'll click on OK. So with this way, I think we are almost done though. Now we've settled everything just the way we want it. The next thing we are going to be doing is just to add our text to each and every one of them. So for us to add our text, we'll just quickly click here, then I'll click here, then I will type. I'll be back once I'm done typing. So now I'm done typing. I don't like the fonts there, so I'm going to change it. Let's go back to this. This is the font. So I'm going to be reducing the size. It's too big. let's make it 8. Then let's make this 4. So we'll bring it to, that means I have to take it up. I'll just drag it up. As you can see how it fits into this perfectly. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I want to know where this circle is. So the next thing now is to make sure that the text is aligning with the circle. So I'll just hold my shift key, select the text, energy box, and now select on the circle. So I'll now click here, and then I'll also click here to make it be at the middle of the circle. I just want it to be at the middle. So the next thing I'll do now is to add another text. So this is, I want to add the text here. So I'll click on this circle. I'll now come here, select my text tool, click here, and then I will type. I'll be back once I'm done typing. So now I'm done typing this. I'll bring it here. I'll still do the same thing I did at the first one. Hold the shift key, click on the text and the circle, then come here, click on this, then click on this also. Click on this to make sure that the both of them are properly aligned. Remember, alignment is one of the most important things in when you are making any design. So I will do the same thing for all of them. I'll do the same thing for Ctrl Z. I'll do the same thing for all of them, and once I'm done doing that, I'll be back. So now I'm done typing everything. I've put everything, I've put all the typing, I aligned it to make sure that it's properly aligned. And whenever you are done with your design, always go through it and make sure that everything is in order just the way you want it to be before saving your work. Okay, so now we've put everything. I just looked at it now to know if there is anything we're not getting right or any mistake, and I think it's perfect. It's very much perfect. So now we are going to save our work. I'll be showing you how to save your work. So if you want to save any work on Photoshop, you just click on File, you go straight to Save. When you click on Save, you will now come here, come to this place, type any name you want to save it with. Let me just save it with DF. You can type any name, anything you just want to save, then you click on Save, then you click on OK. If you also want to export it so that you can send it to your phone or to your laptop or to your anyhow you want to save it, like if you want to send a copy of it, I just saved it as a file in Photoshop. So for me to now be able to send it to my phone as a picture, as an image, I have to export it. I'll click on File, and then I'll click on Export. I'll click on Export As. When you click on Export As, it might take a bit time for it to load. Okay, it takes a bit time. It's not like it's going to take the whole day, but it takes few minutes. And when it comes out like this, wait for it to finish loading just like this before you click on Export All. When you click on export all, it will bring out this. It will bring out the name of the file, all file. Then you click on save. When you click on save, it will take few minutes. Now we've exported our work perfectly. But there is one thing you should always make sure that you export it. The color mode should be RGB when you are using it for social media. Then if you want to print it, then it should be CYMK. Okay, so thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to go through my previous videos. If there is anyone you find interesting, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified when next I post a new video. Thank you.